And then Jesus then asked the lawyer, which of these three do you think proved to be a neighbor to the man who fell into the robber's hands? Now remember the initial question, who is my neighbor? And then after the parable, Jesus said, which one of them proved to be a neighbor to the man who was robbed? And so then verse 37 finishes the parable, the pericope. It says, and he said, that's the lawyer, the one who showed mercy toward him. And then Jesus said in the same question, then you go do the same. Now watch this. Now we got to figure out what's the meaning. I started with, so why do we look the way that we do at SouthPoint? Let me give y'all what I think is the answer that I think comes out of the passage. It's why we were intentional in the way that we wanted to look. Let me give you the answer. It's because we refuse to define who our neighbors are. Did y'all hear what I said? From the very beginning of SouthPoint, we refused to define who our neighbors were. We chose, like Jesus said, to prove to be a neighbor. Y'all don't get it yet. I can see it in your eyes. Y'all know the reason why churches look the way that they do? Because they have determined who their neighbors are. And so then their churches look just like who they think their neighbors are. Come on, y'all are with me. Y'all follow me, right? You know, in the churches I grew up in, we called them not by the name of Christ. We called them black churches. Why were they called black churches? Because all the black people who considered other black people their neighbors are the ones they reached in their church. Listen, in the black church, we looked across the street, well, way across town probably, and said those are white churches. Why were they white churches? Because they defined who their neighbors were. But before they started their churches, they say, okay, we need to reach some people. Who are our neighbors? That's the lawyer's question. Listen, okay, I get it. I need to love God and I need to love people. But who are the people I'm supposed to love? And defining their neighbors, they went and they did acts of mercy and compassion on the people that they defined would be their neighbors.